Hi guys, Grace here. Welcome to this video where I'm going to talk a bit about Switzerland and its languages. Now in Switzerland, there are 4 official national languages spoken. Those 4 languages are German, Italian, French, and Romanish. Now, German is the most widely spoken language in Switzerland. They say about 62% of the inhabitants speak German. However, it's important to recognize that a lot of the German most Swiss speak among themselves is known as Swiss German. And in my opinion, it is a completely different language because I'm learning German. I understand German. I can speak a bit of German now. And if someone's speaking in German, I can understand a lot. However, if someone speaks Swiss German, I don't understand nothing, And it's the same for other Germans, people who live in Germany, and then they come to Switzerland and they hear the Swiss German dialect. To them, it sounds completely different. It's something new. Also, when I speak with my friends who are Swiss, if we're among ourselves together, they would generally speak Swiss German among themselves, and I always have to ask them to switch to High German so I can follow a bit. And they would always say, oh, it feels so strange speaking High German because to them it's another language. Some have even said they prefer to speak English with me rather than High German because most Swiss, they are taught German in the schools, so it's like a second language. So when they're born, they're raised on Swiss German. That's what the parents, in most cases, will speak with the kids. And then when they go to school, they learn High German. So these are the challenges you have to face. And what makes it even more difficult is that in Switzerland, there are different dialects of Swiss German. So for example, the Swiss German they speak in Zurich sounds pretty different from the Swiss German someone would speak maybe in Bern or in Wallis, So these are all the challenges that you have to face. And not only that, Swiss German is not a written language, So when they're texting, a lot of the Swiss, they just sort of text how it sounds. So it's not an officially written language. And I think maybe that's why they've just made German, High German, as the main language. So these are some of the things you just have to bear in mind if you are considering moving to Switzerland for a long period of time. You have to try to get your head around the languages. Now, some of you may also be wondering, okay, I want to move to Switzerland. I want to live in Switzerland for a while. What language should I learn? Well, that all depends on your goal, what you are trying to achieve. I'll speak from my experience. Now, when I came to Switzerland, the plan wasn't for me to stay long. It was just for a year. I got a contract role in Basel, the German-speaking part of Switzerland. And the company that I worked for at the time was international. So everything was done in English. And you'll find that a lot in Switzerland. In some of the various different cantons, let's say Basel, Zurich, or Zug, there's a high expat community. There's a lot of international companies, and a lot of these companies, they do their business in English, bear that in mind. So it's not necessary that you need to learn German, just bear that in mind. So I got this job in a bank in Basel, and my plan was just to stay for a year, and then go back to England. However, after 6-7 months, I realized that I really like Switzerland. I think I want to stay longer. And in Basel, they were offering free German courses, like the A1 course. So I thought, why not? Why not just try and learn German? And I remember going to the first class and I was horrified. I didn't understand nothing. Obviously, it's a new language. But I just thought, I don't want to go through the challenge of learning a new language. And bear in mind, at the time, all I knew was English. So learning another language, especially one like German, High German, it seemed very daunting to me. So I thought, you know what, forget that. I'll just stick with English. I'm living in Basel and I can survive with just English. But then later on, I decided that I wanted to leave that company and move somewhere else, work somewhere else. So I got another job in Zurich, and my plan was to move to Zurich. Zurich is very also international as well. You hear a lot of people speaking English. So my plan was to move to Zurich, but it didn't happen. And then I ended up moving to another canton, which is Canton Schwyz. And I found myself living in a cute little village. And in this village where I currently live, a lot of the people don't speak English or don't like to speak English. They mainly like to speak German or Swiss German. And I thought to myself, now that I'm here, I really should start learning German. And I was faced with the dilemma, what should I learn? Should I just learn Swiss German, which many people say is easier, the grammatic is not as strict as in High German. So I was trying to figure out, should I learn Swiss German or should I learn German? And I was advised to start with High German because most people who speak Swiss German understand German anyway, and also for better job possibilities as well, job opportunities, because at the moment I just speak English and I'm only limited to working for companies that speak English, that do business in English. So I cannot really work for another company where they just speak German. So I'm very limited. I always have to apply for English speaking roles. And I thought to myself, you know what, if I want to be more marketable, I should learn German, the High German. And many people would say it's best to start off with High German, maybe get to B1, B2 level, and then afterwards consider learning Swiss German. So that's the decision I made. And I recommend that for most people. That is probably, even though it's harder, it's probably best to start learning High German if you come to the German speaking area of Switzerland, because as I mentioned, everyone understands German. And also Swiss German is not a written language. And most of the correspondence that you would receive from the government, from the authorities, it would be in High German, not in Swiss German. So in my opinion, I believe you're better off learning High German first, get yourself to B1, B2 level, and then after start to learn Swiss German. However, some people see it differently. Some people just want to start learning Swiss German because they're mainly going to be dealing with Swiss German people, like people who speak Swiss German, just mainly dealing in Switzerland, which is fine as well. But yeah. So it all depends on your goal or your skill. If you're going to move to the French part of Switzerland, then you're better off learning French. If you're going to move to the Italian part, then you're better off learning Italian. So it all depends on your goal, But my advice would be definitely to start off with High German and then afterwards make the transition to Swiss German. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you found it useful. I actually have my B2 exam in the next couple of days, like from me recording this video. So I hope I pass. It's quite difficult, the grammar, And one of the challenges of learning German for me is that I don't hear it often. As I mentioned, where I work, we speak English. A lot of my friends speak English with me, and even there's people who speak Swiss German, they would rather speak English with me, so it's really, really difficult. But if you do move, another point I need to make is that if you do move to like Zurich or Basel or Zug, where there's a lot of international companies and stuff, you'll find that you might not even need to learn German. I have a few friends where I work that's come from England, come from different parts of the world, and they don't speak German at all. And they've been in Switzerland for 10 years, over 10 years, for a long period of time. And they haven't learned German or Swiss German because they can get along fine with just English. So it all depends on your goal. I think it's always good to, if you move to another country, to try and learn the language. The people really do appreciate it, and you can connect better with the citizens as well. So I always recommend, it's just always good to learn the language if you can. And if I can do it, and I'm terrible at languages, then I'm sure you can. You just need to put the effort in. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. and hopefully you will see me soon in another video. Take care and goodbye.